Hi, we're going to take a look at Accelerated Reader's bookshelf, and we're going to take a look at AR Bookfinder and how both of these can help you plan and make the most of Accelerated Reader. You'll notice that I started with the district website, www.wcusd15.org. I show you this because I hope that you make use of both Accelerated Reader and AR Bookfind, as well as the library catalog. In fact, all of the resources of the library, both at home or at school. You do not have to be on a computer at school, in other words, to access these programs. We're going to go over to the junior high's website and arrow down to the library. Click on that to open up the library's webpage. And one of the first items on it is Accelerated Reader. I'm going to click on School Access. Click on I'm a Student and log in. I'm using a student's login. I'm going to choose Accelerated Reader. And once that loads up, we need to choose a teacher's name. Click Done. And there are different options up here. One is that you can see your progress. What is your progress right now? How close are you to meeting your goal that you set? And then the one that we are going to look more closely at is Bookshelf. You'll notice that this student has taken 302 tests since he's been participating in Accelerated Reader. The ones that are most recent are at the top, and you can page through them. Accelerated Reader's Bookshelf displays the first 50. And go through and look at them. You can see the results of the tests that you took. All right, make sure when you use this that you do log out when you're done. We're going to go ahead and close this tab. You'll notice that it did open up in another tab, in a new tab, and all we have to do is close that out, and we're back at the junior high's website. I designed it this way so that you could toggle back and forth, for example, when using Bookfinder, checking books that you find on Bookfinder with the library catalog, or being able to close one out and immediately be back at the library's website. Well, let's take a look at AR Bookfinder. The default for AR Bookfinder is Quick Search. Quick Search is handy for when you want to find a book and you want to just type in key information. It's handy if you, for example, are at Barnes & Noble and you've picked up a book and you want to see if there's a test on it, and you have a smartphone or a tablet available where you can do this. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to type in a keyword from the title, Inside Out and Back Again, and the author's last name. And I'm going to go ahead and click Go. You'll notice that immediately by putting in a keyword or two from the title and a keyword from the author's name, I can pull up the book information. I find the quiz number, I find the reading level, and I find the number of points. I can very easily at this point add it to my book bag, thinking that's one I might want to read. But for planning your reading or finding things that are specific, you want to use advanced search. Now with advanced search, you do need to indicate interest level. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do middle grades plus, and I'm going to do 4.5 to 6.0. Just as an example, I can fine tune it. If I just hit go right at this point, I would probably pull up over 20,000 titles. I don't have time to look through all of those. So I can narrow it by topics. I'm going to look through and see what else I would want to look for. I do enjoy historical fiction, so I'm going to choose that. Now you'll notice that there are additional subtopics. I can choose those. Now historical fiction doesn't have any. I could pick another one. I'm going to go and choose sports or social issues. I might do social issues and subtopics. If you look through here, I can choose one of these, and I'm going to choose bullying. I can choose fiction and nonfiction, or I can fine-tune it. And I can choose that I only want English books to display. I can change the way that it sorts. For example, if I were reading at the lower end of that book level, I might want to change the sort to book level so that it brings up the ones that are closer to the bottom of my ZPD rather than the top. But right now I'm going to stay with the default, which is title, and click go. Now you notice that it pulled up 2 titles that are within my reading level, that are within that subtopic of bullying, that are English books, and that are nonfiction. I can throw both of those into my book bag. I had already picked the one inside out and back again. And I'm going to add these 2. You notice when you add it, and that's a good way to check whether it's been added, it has a minus sign now. And if I clicked on that again, I could remove it from my book bag. I'm going over here, and there I have a number of titles. I'd have thrown in some earlier too. So I'm going to go ahead and check on this mean behind the screen. You notice it's a reading level of 5.6, 1 point. Now I'm going to see if my library or another library in our consortium share has this book. Click on the library catalog. I'm going to type in cyberbullying and the author's last name, Allman. I could type in the mean behind the screen too. There it is. Now you'll notice, hey, look, our library has it. And there are an additional 9 copies, 8 of which are available too. So let's look and see what the call number is. I click on available, and you'll notice the call number pops up. It is in 302.3 ALL for the author's last name, the first 3 letters, and I can go over to the nonfiction shelf and get that book because it does show that it's in. If it wasn't, I can see where else it is, if it's available, and talk to Mrs. Beaver about ordering it. Thank you so much for listening.